Good day, everyone. I hope you're all fine and doing great. Welcome to our virtual class. I am Jelyn Repil of BSE English 3A and on behalf of Ms. Haidee Tinay. For today's video, I will be discussing determining the worth of ideas mentioned in the text listened to. So let's get started. The topic to be discussed is the concept of listening and determining the worth of ideas. Then, we only have three learning outcomes in this lesson. First, distinguish the concept of listening from hearing. Second, analyze the relevance of the ideas mentioned in the text. Third, determine the worth of ideas mentioned in the text listened to. But before that, let us first have an icebreaker. Are you familiar with the game Draw Me My Picture? So here's the mechanics. In this game, I already have a pictures that has a drawing using simple shapes and lines. I will show you the picture after you follow my instruction, in which the goal is to have the same drawing as mine. Are you ready? Let's start. First, your paper should be situated vertically on your desk. Draw a medium-sized circle in the middle of your paper. Draw a medium-sized square below the circle, but have the top of it touch the bottom of the circle. Draw a medium-sized heart in the square. Draw two smaller rectangles, one on each side of the square. They should go the wide way, not the tall way, and they should touch the sides of the square. Also, the top of each rectangle should line up with the top of the square. Draw a medium-sized triangle above the circle. The bottom of the triangle should touch the top of the circle. Draw three small stars anywhere inside the triangle. Draw a small triangle in the center of the medium-sized circle. Draw an arc which curves up below the small triangle. Draw two small circles above the small triangle, one slightly to the right and one slightly to the left. Now it's all done. Let's see if you really follow the direction well by listening. This is my picture. How about yours? Is the result the same as mine? Great! That's close enough. Now, let us all know our main topic. Listening is a significant skill in the lives of people. It is an active process and defined as to hear something with thoughtful attention. While some people think that listening and hearing are synonymous words, there are differences between the two. And let us all know the differences between those two. First, listening. It is a voluntary process that requires full attention to understand the sound and message received. It involves mental and cognitive processes so you can give meaning to the text you listen to. The listener intends to participate and connect. It is temporary because it requires the focus and attention of the listener. For example, do you remember every time that we have a quiz when we are face-to-face? Wherein I dictate the questions and you should write the answer to your piece of paper. In that situation, you need to focus and listen carefully to my instructions or whatever that I'm going to say, in order for you to decode the idea and understand the questions so that you can accurately answer the given questions. Second is hearing. It's defined as the process or function of perceiving a sound. Hearing is involuntary because you can hear sounds all day, but you can choose not to focus or participate. The listener can be unreceptive and disconnected from the speaker or sound. For example, the sounds of your alarm clock, sounds of different vehicles whenever you go to the school or in any places. As you can see, we always hear different sounds in our surroundings, and that is because of the fact that we have ears, and it is just a normal thing. We can hear sounds every day, and it is inevitable, not unless you are deaf or you have a hearing impairment. Therefore, it is up to us if we want to listen or not to the sounds that we hear around us, because we have full control over ourselves. We can ignore it every time you hear the sounds, and sometimes we have this in our minds that we ignore it because it is not important or it does not capture our attention. Listening needs focus and patience. Remember that the amount at which we listen shows that we are interested and attentive to what we are listening. It will also help us decide the worth of ideas and message we receive. This may vary among individuals due to different reasons and interests. Next, let's proceed on how to become an active listener. Listening is a skill and not a talent. Thus, learners like you can improve their listening skill level and become active listeners. There are 5 tips to enhance your listening skills. First, be interested and pay attention to the speaker, because being mindful of how well you listen to others will be an important consideration throughout your life. Listening and paying attention to others when they speak is a sign of respect and a skill that will lead to deeper and better relationships. For example, I feel good whenever all of you are listening to me attentively. And because of what you are doing, it also shows that you respect me as your teacher. Second, focus on the text, sound, or message you are listening to and look past distractions. This is very important because you need to be aware of your surroundings for the possible distractions. In order to avoid some interruption that can affect your focus while listening, you need to know what you must do to stop or avoid the distractions that can occur. For example, we had a class today, and you heard your family noise like your siblings playing with each other and your father watching a movie. As you can see, those noises are one of the distractions that can affect your focus on our class. So what do you need to do to avoid it? Of course, you need to find a place where they cannot distract you from your focus on studying. And maybe you can also tell your parents and siblings that they need to keep quiet while you're having your class. In that way, you stop or are able to avoid those possible distractions that might happen. Third, ask good questions to show that you are following the speaker. This will also help establish the conversation flow. Always remember that your questions that you're going to ask the speaker are related to the topic and it should be clear and accurate in order to have a good flow of conversation. Of course, it is useless if you ask questions which are not related to the topic because you're going to humiliate yourself in front of others. And the speaker will only find out that you're not listening, and it is one of those things that we avoid to happen. Next, evaluate the ideas mentioned and presented in the text. You can take notes to identify the relevant information from the material. It is very important that we are good at evaluating and analyzing the ideas presented in order for us to understand the topic or the text. The best way is to take notes to know the relevant information that will help you. In addition, evaluating information is very important because it encourages you to think critically about the reliability, validity, accuracy, timeliness, point of view, or bias of information sources. Lastly, remember that listening is purposeful and intentional. Of course, you have your own intention and purpose for why you are listening to someone. Like what you are doing right now. You are listening to me because you want to gain knowledge, learn something new, and to know the answer to all of your questions in mind. Or whenever you are listening to something like music, watching videos, and anything. You always have a reasons why you're listening. But be aware of the material you are listening to and determine if it suits you or not. Because there are things that are not suitable at your age, and it can affect your mental and emotional aspects. Now, I have here the application to test if you really listened to my discussion or you learned our topic. Are you ready, class? Okay, here's the directions. You can type and click the link below. Watch and listen attentively to the weather report. As you listen, provide a specific answer to each of the following questions later. But I also have here a copy of the text if you can't watch it. I will read this and you need to listen carefully. Let's get started. It will be a rainy day in most parts of Mindanao. A low pressure area was spotted about 345 kilometers east of Davao City. Weather Bureau Pag-asa says there is a small chance for it to develop into a tropical depression, at least for now, but if it does, it will be named Emong. This LPA also has no direct effect on the country, but it is embedded along the Intertropical Convergence Zone, which will bring rains in the region. The Agusan, Surigao, and Davao provinces as well as South Cotabato, Sarangani, and General Santos will be under moderate to possible heavy rains. The rest of Mindanao, including Cagayan de Oro and Zamboanga, will be under light to moderate rain showers. Residents in Mindanao are warned against possible floods and landslides. Next, I have the questions here, and I hope you clearly understand the text that I have read a while ago. The first question: what was spotted about 345 kilometers east of Davao City? That's right. The answer is a low pressure area. Second question: where was the low pressure area spotted? Great! The answer is east of Davao City. Third question: which among the cities mentioned will experience moderate to possible heavy rains? That's correct. The answer is Agusan, Surigao, and Davao provinces, as well as South Cotabato, Sarangani, and General Santos are the cities that will experience moderate to possible heavy rains. Next question: from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, which part of the country was affected by the low pressure area? That's right. The answer is Mindanao part of the country. Last question: aside from Cagayan de Oro, what city will experience light to moderate rain showers? Great! The answer is Zamboanga. Thank you for your active participation, and you did a good job answering the following questions. And that's all for today's discussion. Thank you again for listening. I hope you enjoy it and you learned something new. Until next time, bye!